whatever we call it, needs to go. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
You know, this particular series two of my leadership in my life is coinciding with my leadership style of my speech today. And the reason for that is that it was like going down memory lane in my education. I kind of forgot that when I even wrote my intro for the speech. You see, I was in college. I was waiting for the master's program to begin. I was invited to the TA program by the president of the department, and I was going to be a professor in communication and leadership styles. That was my area of study. And then something happened. The Northridge earthquake destroyed 9 out of 11 buildings on the campus. Remember that? 1993. That changed my life. And I went a different direction, but I got to come back and revisit the core material of leadership that really guided the rest of my life. And boy, did I have a synopsis of what leadership styles were present in the bosses that I had and those that were not. Total default, non-leadership roles in the people that I worked for. So let's begin. I was 18 and I was dating a gentleman that knew a doctor. He introduced me, and the doctor turned to me as an infectious disease specialist, and half his practice was internal medicine. Said, Victoria, I'd like you be my office. I said, yes, needed the income. I had no idea what I was going to be doing because I was young. And 4 months later, the AIDS crisis emerged. So I was an insurance biller. I was the bookkeeper. I was the front office. I was the back office. And frankly, I was the personality and culture of an entire medical practice that experienced a 200% growth in the 11 years that I worked. What leadership style did my doctor have? Absolutely none. He didn't tell me how to do my job. Didn't predicate what goals were. My only feedback was my internal drivers for success and my desire to connect with patients that mostly all would be terminal. All of them died. I went to over 250 funerals. And I also remember learning more about life from the people who were dying than I ever did from the people that were really supposed to be teaching me those life skills. It was my deciding when the insurance bills would be paid, because I had to bill them within 24 hours in that time in the 90s, because everything was done by hand. I decided what standard that my patients would have to feel when they left my office, because many of them probably were facing a death sentence when they stepped in with my doctor. It was me who needed me. And when I went to college and I learned the different authoritative styles of leadership, I learned that I was completely falling into 4 different styles. Can I tell you what they are? No? Would you like to?
Yes.
Okay. Authoritative. You would think that authoritative leadership styles are really, well, just do your job. No, in fact, authoritative leadership has to do more with what's going on in the culture than it does the ways you lead. Now get that. If you're a leader for only one time in one situation in a company, you're going to not be able to lead them effectively in the different stages of development, crisis control, and damage to the culture. There's a leadership style that matches the temperature of the company. So authoritative actually is really good for taking very high level, talented people in a place where things are shifting in the market, and you simply need to have marching orders. You need to have a real strong belief in the people that are in your team. The other one is innovative, very high. By the way, my scores were all the same in these. This one is very most effective when giving complex problems. When you're in an industry, and I was in energy brokering, in an industry like IT, where if the ball's moving, the innovation is so skipping along by the time you master one thing, new innovation comes along. That is a really good leadership style, because what you're doing is you're delegating to all the people that are in your team who are very high level, you trust them to move independently and come back and regroup to shape the goals of the company. Pre-setting. Pre-setting is a style effective when, I don't have my glasses on, members are self-motivated. When you have a team of self-motivated individuals and you try to micromanage them, have you ever been there? You squash, and you can kill your companies that way. The next one is my favorite. Magazine card, and I don't have enough time. Should have done it in minutes. Is coaching. Coaching is a really good style when what you have is you have the positive culture promoting high morale. That means that you are doing well with your company. Things are moving well with your goals. You're meeting them. And you don't need to tell anybody to do their job. You need them to be on the same page with you and with you, because you have a really great moving company. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, if you've ever had a coach, ever had an innovative leader, ever had a auditorium leader, it's because they like you, they trust you, and things are going well. Also in those roles is when it's not going well and you need to create culture. That was the kind of leader I was to myself. So thank you for taking the journey with me. That was fun.